The storm hit the mountains like the wrath of God. Wind tore across the Wyoming plains hard enough to shake dead trees from frozen ground. Snow lashed sideways through the dark, sharp as broken glass, swallowing trails, cliffs, and the sky itself. And somewhere beneath that storm, a woman collapsed. Her name was Evelyn Cross. At least, that's the name she gave strangers. She lay half buried beside the broken remains of an overturned wagon, her thin coat soaked through with ice and mud. Blood stained the hem of her dress. One shoe was missing. The other had split open at the sole days ago. Her lips trembled with fever. She had been running too long to remember where she started. Only that she could never go back. Then came the sound of mule bells. Slow. Steady. A man emerged through the storm like something carved from the mountains themselves. His name was Rowan Creed. Tall. Massive shoulders. Heavy winter coat dusted white with snow. A thick scar crossed his throat like an old rope burn. He looked like the kind of man people feared before he even spoke. And maybe they should have. Rowan stopped when he saw the wagon. His hand rested near the revolver at his hip. Out here, strangers usually meant one thing: trouble. And Rowan Creed had spent years burying trouble deep in these mountains. But then he saw the footprints. Small. Barefoot. Leading beneath the wagon. He crouched low against the wind and pulled the woman free from the snow. She weighed almost nothing. Her face was pale blue from cold. Still breathing. Barely. Rowan stared down at her for a long moment while snow collected on his shoulders. Then he sighed. "Damn it," he muttered. And lifted her onto the mule. Evelyn woke beside a roaring fire. Panic hit instantly. She bolted upright too fast and pain ripped through her body. The cabin around her was rough and isolated. Animal pelts. Lantern light. Rifles mounted above the fireplace. And across the room, a giant man sharpening a hunting knife. "Where am I?" she whispered. The man didn't answer immediately. Steel scraped slowly against stone. Then finally, "My cabin." His voice was deep enough to rattle the floorboards. "You were freezing." Evelyn pulled the blanket tight around herself. Every instinct screamed danger. Men had always wanted something. Always. Kindness usually came with a price. But this man stayed across the room. Never stepped closer. Never stared too long. Never touched her unless absolutely necessary. And somehow, that unsettled her even more. For days, Rowan barely spoke. He left food near her bed. Changed the bandages on her frostbitten feet carefully. Looked away while doing it. At night, he slept in a chair near the door instead of the bed. Like he trusted himself less than he trusted her. One night during the storm, Evelyn finally asked, "You always live alone like this?" Rowan stared into the fire. "Mostly." "You don't get lonely?" A long silence. Then, "Lonely safer." As the storms continued, they fell into routines. She learned how to split wood. How to clean rabbit traps. How to survive mountain winters. Rowan taught without talking much. Just patient gestures. Quiet corrections. And slowly, the silence between them softened. One evening Evelyn noticed him rubbing his scar near the fire. "Who did that to you?" she asked. Rowan's jaw tightened. "Men I trusted." That was all he said. But she understood enough. The first real snow of December buried the cabin doors halfway shut. That night, Rowan handed her a bottle of whiskey. She drank too fast. The warmth spread through her chest. Loosened old memories. Old wounds. Old fears. And suddenly, she couldn't stand the distance between them anymore. "You saved me," she whispered. Rowan stayed silent. "You fed me. Protected me." She stepped closer. "And you never asked for anything back." The fire crackled. Outside, the storm howled against the cabin walls. Evelyn reached for him carefully. But Rowan caught her wrists gently. Not rough. Not angry. Just firm. "No." Her eyes flashed with hurt. "Why?" Rowan stood slowly, towering over her. "Because the truth terrified him more than the storm outside. I don't trust what happens when I lose control." For a long moment, Evelyn just stared at him. Then something inside her shifted. Because every man she'd ever known had taken, demanded, forced. But this man, this giant mountain cowboy with scars carved into his skin, was choosing restraint, choosing gentleness, even when no one would stop him otherwise. The fire burned low between them. Snow covered the mountains outside like a white ocean. And for the first time in years, Evelyn felt something she no longer believed existed. Not fear. Not survival. Not obligation. Safety. Real safety. And somewhere deep beneath the storm, two broken people began to understand that maybe the world had not buried them after all. Maybe it had simply led them here. To this cabin. To this mountain. To each other. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more emotional Western stories every week. Because sometimes the people who look the most dangerous are the ones who protect us the most.